Good evening, everybody. Welcome to League of Europe, the very first race on the main platforms, Season 7 on the PlayStation, but the first race of Season 4 here on the PC League, and it is time to visit one of the most historic circuits in Formula 1, the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari, round number 1 here on the PC, the Italian Grand Prix, this time at Imola. My name is Luke Etheridge. I will be taking you through all the action, through all the races, 17 races between now and the end of May. Who will take the championship this time? Some slightly different lineups this time around to what we've had previously, of course, so should really lead to some good action. If we do quickly then, let's take us through those lineups of who we've got racing this season. We have got James TLH and Luca in the Mercedes, Ollie and It's Aled in the Red Bull, Black Panther and RJW Videos will be taking us through the action in the Ferrari, although I believe Black Panther is unable to make it tonight, so I think we have got a reserve in for him. Kango Khan and Bloodwinds are in the McLaren, Lucky Finger and Sniper Owns in the Alpine, Knox and Peter in the Alfa Tauri, J. Colin Miami making it a double XL lineup in the Aston Martin, Casuex and Welho in the Williams, Merkt and Bryn in the Alfa Romeo, and it does say Marvin on screen, but I can tell you we have actually already got a different lineup then in the, I believe already in the Haas car, and that is going to be Matthias and Rafa will be the two drivers for Haas this season. So a very exciting lineup. We've got some good drivers in there. Welho obviously runner-up last time around, Kango Khan finishing in third in the championship, but we are expecting some slight changes. Let me know in the chat who you guys think will be taking the victory as the season comes on. We are just waiting, I think, for the final few drivers to join the lobby, and then we will be able to get underway with the action around, as I said, the Imola circuit. Such a fast circuit, such a challenging circuit. Heard it described by Justin Sutton on the F1 Challenger stream yesterday as a vibes circuit, and yes, there is just some good vibes around this track. It just feels right for some reason. Imola just feels like a very nice track indeed. In fact, I think we're actually waiting for the opposite of a driver to join. I think we've actually got too many in the lobby, which is a nice problem to have. I don't think there's many leagues out there that can say they've got that problem. But yes, we are just waiting then, I believe, for maybe one of the drivers to leave the lobby at this moment in time. So let's just wait for this to get started. As you can see, the calendar there briefly popping up on screen. We will get that again, run through the calendar. Italy this week at Imola, Paul Ricard next time out, Portugal, Austria, Monaco. These races do come in thick and fast. No break weeks until, as you can see, April, just around Easter time. Austria, Monaco, UK, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Australia, Belgium, Netherlands, Russia. Then it is a break week after what hopefully will have been 12 fantastic races. And then we go China, Hungary, Canada, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi. You can see here there's some support for Peter in the chat. We'll have to wait and see how he does. Let us know who you think is going to take the victory this season. Any drivers particularly that you've got as a favourite that you think can do well. We are just, I believe, not too far away from getting underway, and as we said, should be quite a challenging race, this one. I expect us to be some real good action, good driving as usual. Imola, only the one DRS zone on the run down to Tamburello. Quite a tough circuit. Maybe we'll see a few mistakes, and you never know, we might just get that tiny drop of rain as well. We are in Europe, of course. There is always that possibility of rain. Can just quickly run through some of the drivers then that are actually going to be reserving tonight. We have got in the Ferrari reserving in the place of Black Panther, as we mentioned earlier. It's actually going to be Marcus Towler. And we've also got a reserve in the Alpine. Carter Lundy is going to be alongside Lucky Finger tonight. Matthias also unable to make it in the Williams, so it's in the Haas, I should say, sorry. So it's going to be Alec driving the Haas. So we have already got some reserve drivers in. It shouldn't be too long before we are away for qualifying. Let's take a quick look then at the track in question. That will be going round in qualifying. 4.909 kilometres, 3.050 miles, 19 corners with that one DRS zone, as we've said. A track that has much changed over the years, especially after the tragic 1994 race. Recent changes, they've got rid of the Variante Bassa, that second chicane that slowed the drivers down, that we haven't seen since, I believe, 2006 was when we last saw that at the last race they had at Imola before the 14-year hiatus only came back because of COVID. And I think it was Michael Schumacher who took the victory that race, and I believe also broke the record for the most pole positions in Formula 1 that weekend, and that is a record that has been well and truly smashed since then. If you're not familiar, though, with how things work at LOE, if you've seen many other PC races before, you won't be too far off with General League races, to be perfectly honest. It is your pretty standard, pretty bog normal now, 50% qualifying, and then we have the 50% race, I should say, and short qualifying. So 18 minutes qualifying and a 50% race for all of us to enjoy and get ourselves into. I can tell you now, it won't be long before we are heading out onto the circuit, just waiting for the drivers to load into the lobby, and then we will be able to get underway. I can tell you, though, it is absolutely beautiful sunshine at this moment. There is going to be absolutely no worries whatsoever about there being any rain out on the circuit. I can tell you that. So that is, I think it's safe to say that is good news for all of the drivers. But without further ado, let's head on to the track. Let's get this qualifying session underway and see what awaits for drivers. You can see we have got a few just starting to make their way out onto the track now, and I believe Rafa, he is going to be the first driver heading out on circuit in the Haas. He's gone for the medium tyres. We are expecting it to be a one-stop strategy tonight, so would be surprised if we see a lot of drivers starting on that set of mediums. As we can see already in the chat, we have got some support for the Aston Martin lineup. I do quite like Miami Call Larkin. I do think we're going to use that. As for, and Rafa taking a, that's a line to take through the first corner. I think it's fair to say that's not one that you'd be, it's not a line that you'd be wanting to take too often. That one from Rafa running very wide there, coming from Tozer. Not ideal whatsoever. I believe the GTX 1660 should be a good GPU because I'm on a laptop, and if a laptop GPU can run it, then yeah. If a laptop GPU can do this, Senpai, then who knows, maybe an ordinary bog standard 1660 should do quite well. I think it is going to be Ollie then, first driver to set us on a lap of this circuit. He's just about to head onto a lap now. So let's have a look at a hot lap then of the Autodromo Enzo A. Dino Ferrari as he heads now down towards the start-finish line. Oh, crossing the line then. DRS open this long run down towards turn number 1 at Tamburello. You've got this brief kink at the left-hander, braking as late as you dare there, left, right and left. Very easy to get it wrong, and you can see there Ollie just perhaps carrying a bit too much speed through the first part of there. Now into the Villeneuve chicane here, added in 1995 as well. Nice and clean through there, just getting on the curb ever so slightly, but looks like a good lap so far through Tozer. Keeping it tight through there now, sticking over to the right-hand side of the track as much as possible through here, over the crest of hill, and then you've got to really commit as you go through Piratella, this almost double left-hander down the hill into a very tricky braking zone, but Aqua Minolari brake just after you turn there. He's done fairly well through that part of the circuit, heading up the hill now towards Variante Alta, a tricky chicane. You've really got to attack the curbs at this part of the circuit, and he has done well through there. Now coming up towards Ravazzi, he has got a car in front of him. I do wonder if that is Stake, his teammate, maybe giving a bit of a slipstream. That would always be nice and helpful, but no, I think it is one of the Alpha Tauris, and they won't be working together on, no, it's a Mercedes, I should say, of James. And as you can see now, just getting a little bit of a slipstream there does Ollie as he heads towards the finish line. 1:14.468, the first time we have seen in this session. We've got the Miami now. He's running towards, he's just coming towards Piratella. We have got a few more cars heading out on their outlaps as well, setting their times. Rafa goes there into second place at the... Oh! Miami spinning the car around there at Aqua Minerale. I said you need to watch out for that corner. It is an exceptionally tricky part of the circuit there. You need to be careful. And that's just proved there. XL Miami getting it wrong, so we won't be seeing any improvements from him. Alec has invalidated a lap. We'll see if we can find anyone who is on a hot lap at the moment. Merckx looks as though he's not too far away in the Alfa Romeo. He's just heading around Rivazza now, so we'll see what sort of time the Alfa Romeo driver can set. Merckx heads towards the finish line, and it's a 1:15.007. Puts him into third place for now. Now, I think a reserve driver that we're going to have to watch out. Oh, I was about to say a reserve driver we should watch out for is Marcus Towler. He's binned it in the gravel there, coming through Villeneuve. So a commentator's curse before we've even gone on board with a car there, which is a new one. See what Shazoo Bryn can do in the Alfa Romeo. Was speaking to Bryn earlier on. He's not the most confident around this, well, on this car, and I don't think really on this track either at this moment in time. So we'll wait and see what he can do on a set of the medium tyres as well. So just seeing what these can do. 1:15.616. That is a pretty decent lap, I think, on the medium tyres. You can see Bunty there saying, what a lap from Ollie. Going to be tough for the rest to beat it. I think with track evolution and the fact that Rafa and Brim, we're seeing their times being set on a set of the medium tyres, I wouldn't count it out yet. I would not count it out. I think it is very possible indeed, that we could see those times getting beaten. We'll just have to wait and see. Carter Lundy then in the Alpine, the Canadian, with a setup that would make every man, woman and child, I think, in the world jealous. It is fair to say, if you have not seen his setup on Twitter, go and check it out. It is absolutely marvellous. The rig he has got. Kind of can't quite fit it in my bedroom, and definitely couldn't fit it in a suitcase to take around with me, unfortunately. So Carter now just keeping it nice and clean. Very anti-outer. Always a tricky corner. Always hard to get right at that part of the circuit. But Carter seems to be doing okay so far in that Alpine. Just wait and see as he now heads towards the finish line. What is it going to be for the Canadian driver? Hugs the right-hand side of the circuit. Only knew he was reserving half an hour ago. And a 1:14.427. Let's not forget there is track evolution, of course. So that might just alter that ever so slightly. But it's an absolutely brilliant first run from Carter Lundy. The majority of the field have now managed to get their first runs in. We've got Stake and Peter here just heading out on the circuit. And it is Carter Lundy fastest from Ollie. Half a second, the pair of them. Clear of Excel Merckx and Wellho. And then Congo Kong, fastest driver on that set of the medium tyres. He is in 5th place at this moment in time. Well, let's watch out for him later on. As you can see, really struggling there at that moment in time, with Stake really going for it at that part of the circuit through Tamburello. We've seen a few drivers run wide through there already. That is going to be, I think, a common theme. You do see a lot of mistakes on this circuit, and let's not forget the dramatic F1 Esports race. Final lap, Josh Idowu from pole position. Looked as though he could maybe get a victory. A podium looked a certainty. Just tried to hold on to the car. Bit of contact as I can't remember who was overtaking him now, but a bit of contact as he was getting overtaken. Ended up spinning around. And what looked like a possible win ended up with no points whatsoever. It is a normal point system as well here in LOE. Traditional to what is used in most situations. 25 for the win. 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 and 1. And then, of course, that extra point for the fastest lap if you finish in the top 10. A Stake now just coming through the final corner. The double left-hander, I should say, at Rivazza, where we saw Max Verstappen nearly lose the car this year. And he puts that car into 16th position for now. Coming through, that is Piratella, is... Oh! Ollie has retired from the session. Now, where has he done that? He has done it, I believe, that is on the run down to... That looks like it is on the run down to the first corner that we've seen him lose it. There's not a car near him at the moment. In fact, someone's just headed out of the pit lane, I believe. And yeah, you can see that Red Bull buried in the tyre wall there on the right-hand side. So, not quite sure what he's done. I'm not sure we'll still be able to see this from the angle of J-Call. I believe the car will have been removed by then, and it just has. But yeah, Ollie really losing it, under braking almost, on the run down towards Tamburello. Very, very strange to see a driver lose it in that way. Can only think he must have braked on the grass ever so slightly, and that has caused an issue. But he is out of the session, and second is the best he is going to do. He'll be glad he's got a first run in. Nearly half the session gone, though, and it's still Carter Lundy, Ollie, and Marcus Towler, your top three. We are now starting to see more and more drivers, though, head out on a set of the soft tyres. J. Cole at this moment in time, then, just flicking it through that double right-hander at Aqua Minerale. We've already seen drivers have problems there so far. 11th in the championship last season was J. Cole, owner, of course, of League of Europe. Perhaps more famous now. I mean, he's pretty famous in League of Europe terms, but perhaps more famous now, of course, for his escapades as part of the 24 Hours of F1, being the brainchild before that, and now showing that he's not too bad at racing, as well as his organisational skills as well. As J. Cole, DRS wide open roundabout now. You can see the detection point moved earlier in 2021 move closer to the exit of Ravazza than it was in 2020 to try to encourage more overtaking. I think Lando Norris wouldn't have minded it staying in the position it was, and he goes into third place. 1:14.6. Very respectable run from Jacob, but we are now seeing XL Merckx just improve that tiny bit more. 0.3 of a second up through the first sector. Purple through there. Can he carry that on for the rest of the lap? I think that's we've just seen Knox. He shot himself up in that Alpha Tauri. He's got up into 8th place at this moment in time. So that's again a respectable run from him. He'll be pretty happy with how that's gone. Merckx still improving. 0.3 up at the moment. He's going to need a good final sector. He is really going to need a good final sector at this moment in time if he wants to end up beating those top two, or definitely getting his way onto the top two, as we are just hearing that Ollie might have had some contact with Bryn, or definitely, ooh, big slide from Merckx coming out the final corner. That might have cost him a tiny bit of time there. Not too much, still goes fastest by 11 thousandths of a second. Yes, we are hearing Bryn did get involved perhaps with the Red Bull of Ollie, and that is why he is out of the session. We'll see who we've got near the end of the lap at this moment in time. Kango Kon, one of the highest placed drivers in the championship last year. 3rd position for the McLaren driver this time around. Can't remember if he was driving a McLaren he was in a McLaren as well last season. Consistency was key for him. 4 podiums in what turned out to be the final 4 races, of course, of a curtailed season because of the issues we had. Does look like Kango Kong has actually backed off of that lap, so we're not going to see any improvement from him. James, he's invalidated as well. A lot of drivers, as you perhaps would expect, they are finding it tricky. It is not the easiest of circuit, and one of the drivers who was high up last season, top 5 in the championship for RJW videos. He's currently, 5th last season, 57 points, highest finished of 4th place. Again, points in all but one race, really showing that consistency. He's down in 14th at the moment. The alternate strategy can work around this track, as it can at all tracks, as Bryn goes fastest. 1:14.239, converting that pace off the set of mediums onto a set of softs. As we're in, Bryn was sat on the racing line towards turn 1. That could well be one that... don't be surprised if that one ends up going to the stewards then, if Bryn has done a track... bit of a naughty stuff going on the run down towards turn 1. Did see Bottas, of course, Bottas and George Russell lose it there last year in the clash for the second seat of the Mercedes. Lucky finger. He comes across the line. He goes into 15th place for now, not really finding a lot of time on that lap. Let's see what Miami can do. Carter now fastest of everyone. 1:14.139. You've got to think if Ollie had have got another second lap in, he would have been up there as well. So really difficult times, obviously, for Ollie. Such a shame for him that he was not able to set another lap. This is looking more like it from Miami, though. 6 up on his personal best, so you can only assume that he backed off in the final sector last time around. Clearly not happy with what he'd done on his lap. Well, this is looking like a much better one from the Aston Martin. You've got to say Alfa Romeo maybe looking like a good team at the moment. 2nd and 3rd in the championship. 2nd and 3rd in qualifying. 5th and 7th for the 2 Ferraris. Miami comes across the line. Only goes up to 18th place. So, yeah, just not finding the time. Perhaps in that final sector for whatever reason. Didn't look like he'd backed off there. So I wonder whether he's just taking things steady at this moment in time. Another invalidation for Petter means we're not going to see any improvements from him. Interesting strategy from Alec. 3 sets of laps on that set of soft tyres. He's done a 1:15.139 at the moment. Exactly a second off our fastest man in the Alpine, Carter, just heading back to the pits. And he's proving that he's got the money, he's got the talent as well. 1:14.139 for Carter. 2nd is Bryn Evans on a 1:14.239, exactly a 10th of a second behind. And then it is Merckx, Ollie, Marcus Tau. Ooh. Think there. Marcus Towler, perhaps lucky that he'd invalidated that. Well, perhaps lucky for Carter that Marcus had invalidated that lap. That was very not ideal, not what you want to be seeing indeed. We have got some drivers now starting to head out on out laps, so these will be their final runs in the session. This will be it now for Rafa. Didn't improve on those soft tyres as much as you would have expected. He was up there with Bryn on a set of mediums, so we'll have to wait and see what he can do. But 4 minutes to go, and it's still Carter on top as we're starting to see the first drivers head out for their final laps in the first round of qualifying in LOE Season 4 on the PC. Just wait then for Rafa to start his lap. He's got his teammate behind him in the Haas, and that's a bit closer than I think Alec would want to be. As Kasu goes fourth in the Alpine, but let's see then. What can Rafa do? A bit of a late call-up, of course, was meant to be, I believe, a reserve this season, but with the late changes to the Haas team, he was able to sign up as a full-time driver. Like many of these, has transitioned from other platforms, was on the, I believe, PlayStation for a good few years. Might have commentated in myself back in the day. Coming through this first sector, we'll see what the time is through here. You want to be setting around about 23s, 24s, 24.0. We're 10th up at the moment, so he is finding more time. Slightly scruffy, though, on the exit of Villeneuve into the entrance of Tozer, so I'm not sure that's what you would have wanted. Now Piratella via some corner. You can see just missing the apex there. Really test the limits of the car. And I think realising that lap was not going to be as clean as he wanted to, so he's going to set another one. James, he's heading out on another hot lap at this moment in time. I think we've got Pitter on one as well. He's kept it clean this time. Only 2.5 minutes remaining, so this might well be, depending on how heavily he's fueled the car, this might well be his final chance in this qualifying session to get a lap time set. We have got some yellow flags. Not sure. I think that is just cars slowing down at this moment in time, so nothing for any of these to worry about. Pitter heading up the hill where we saw Mazepin and Latifi, I think, crash in what was a wet race, of course, at the start for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. But Pitter doing a good job at the moment, keeping it clean. Probably not going all out on this lap might be the wise thing to do if you've made mistakes throughout the start of qualifying. So Pitter just heading towards the end of the lap. Still looks like it is going to be a very respectful lap time indeed. Going to put him, I think, in the lower parts of the... no, a bit slower than I turned out to think in the end there. 18th place for Pitter, and it remains to be seen if he's got anything left in his car to get another lap in. But here comes Bryn, second at the moment. Fastest man currently on a hot lap. Coming through that first sector, 25.7. Yeah, he's not, well, I say hot lap. Clearly not going for that hot of a lap at this moment in time. Wellho in the Williams. Looks like he's pushing a tiny bit more than the Alfa Romeo, who this time is getting well out of the way. Perhaps a bit wise after what had happened earlier on. Heading down through Acqua Minerale is quite a short circuit, let's not forget. 63 laps in a normal F1 race, 4.909 kilometres, so not the longest of circuits in Formula 1. And Wello is finding some more time, though, despite that. Oh, Bryn's retired. Bryn's retired from the session. Has he lost it on the hill? Well, just go away. Has he lost it coming up the hill? That is an interesting place to lose the car, if I do say so myself. It looks like Bryn's just got it completely wrong. On the way up to Variante Alta as Wello now sets himself a time. He goes into third place. Good final lap from him. Exxon Merckx on a hot lap at this moment in time. Knox is improving through the final sector. We are starting to see more yellow flags and cars just getting out of the way. I was about to say, being a fairly short circuit in terms of time, 74 seconds. Traffic can be very difficult indeed, especially to manage it around this circuit. Knox now, he's heading towards the line. Can he get himself into the top 10 on that set of soft tyres? Just misses out. He goes into 14th place for now, so we're not going to see any improvement from him. Merckx just invalidates there, coming through Piratella. Marcus Towler goes up into third place. Checkered flag is out, so this is pretty much it for this session. I think we've seen the we've seen the best of most of the drivers now. We'll see who's heading towards the end of their lap. I think Kangoo not too far away from figures away. Kango Con now heading towards the end of the lap. He really is finding a good time. This could get him up into top 5. Never mind top 5. It's fastest of all from Kango Con. 1:14.0. Absolutely superb lap from him. Can anyone match that in the rest of this session? J. Cole, he has invalidated his lap. No improvements from him. We've got Alec. He's just coming into the pits as well. So I think it's pretty much all down to the Canadian Carter Lundy in that Alpine. 1.5 tenths up on his personal best at the moment. This could be the first driver to get into the 13s if he can nail it through Rivazza. Down on board now with the Alpine. Downhill braking zone. Looks like he's took enough of that curve and it hasn't slowed him down whatsoever. Perfect line through the final 2 corners. Great time from Kango Con, as Jess said, but Carter Lundy goes fastest. 1:13.793, quarter of a second nearly faster than everyone else. I think it's Miami is the final driver on a lap at the moment. He's got himself up into 19th place, but it is Carter Lundy, the reserve driver, Statue Powell at the death here at the Emilia Romagna, San Marino, Imola, Italian, whatever. I'm gonna go San Marino. I'm historic. The San Marino Grand Prix. And it is Cartolondi who goes fastest there. Great lap by Congo Con into second. Bryn, well, involved in maybe two contentious incidents. The one with Ollie, of course, that took him out earlier on. And something strange happening up the hill. I wonder if he just tried to pull out of the way and lost it on traction. If he gets on the podium, we are aiming to do podium interviews with these drivers later on. So I'm sure we'll find out then what has happened. But it is Cartolondi who has gone fastest here in qualifying at Imola. As you can see, the times coming up there. Cartolondi fastest. Congo Con carrying on that form from last season. He is in second place. Quite spread out at the front of the field. Apart from Bryn and Marcus Towler. Half a tenth separating that second row of the grid. Wellho is in fifth. Excel Merckx. Both Alfa Romeos having trouble on their final laps. But both still getting in the top six. Excel Merckx is sixth. He's in an Alpha sandwich. Kasu, Ollie and Excel Jaco round out the top nine. Then it is Rafa, Bloodwind, Alec, Knox, Luca, Luckyfinger, Stake, Petter, Miami and James, the final runner in this grid. Very interesting session. I think it's fair to say there. Quite a lot of stuff happening. Great time by Carter. Don't think we saw the best of maybe some of the others later on. Let us know who you think is going to win in this race. Anyone to keep an eye on outside that top 10. I can tell you it's looking quite overcast at this moment in time at Imola, so maybe there'll just be a chance of rain. All the top 10 setting their time on that soft tyre as well, so that's something to keep an eye on. Everyone being out on that set of these soft tyres. That is going to be very interesting indeed to see how the different strategies work. We are expecting a one-stop unless we get any safety cars. And when do we ever see safety cars in Formula 1? When has there ever been a safety car? But before we head out to the formation lap, let's take a look at what is awaiting the drivers today. 4.909 kilometres, 3.050 miles, 19 turns, of course, and that one DRS zone down towards Tamburello. The best overtaking point on the track by far as we do head out onto circuit then. And you can see the tyres that everyone has picked round about now. There's the tyres then for the drivers outside the top 10. We knew the top 10 were on softs and mostly outside the top 10 on a set of softs, as you would on a set of mediums, as you would expect. Bloodwinds, Knox, and that is James at the back of the grid going for something slightly unconventional, we'll say. Picking that set of the soft tyres, going for something very unconventional is this man in the Alpha Tauri. Petter, is there going to be rain later on in this session? I wonder. Are we seeing those that are going for the soft tyres? It is a very long pit lane, I think, at Imola. So, before I quantify this statement, extremely long pit lane at Imola. You are talking pit loss in and around the 12-second mark. Well, 20-second mark, I should say. So don't be too surprised if we do see some issues regarding if drivers do have to do 2 pit stops, 25-30 seconds extra onto your time. I'm not sure we're going to see many people go for the 2-stop unless they are absolutely forced to, as there's quite a lot of dirt there on the side of Petter's car. Almost looks as though he's already been off track, which you'd imagine is not an ideal thing to do. More normal alternate strategy. Rafa showed he had good pace on this medium tyres. Maybe his race could be determined how closely can he stay to those drivers in front of him. Can he stay right on the back of them for the entire race? Well, for the first 2 laps until you get the DRS. And then he might have a chance. Let us know, of course, as always in the YouTube chat, who you think is going to take the victory in this Grand Prix. Is it going to be Cartolondi, the reserve driver? Only knew he was racing half an hour ago. He is on pole position. Congo Con in second. Shizubrin in third. Did not get to see what he could do on his third lap, and he's ahead of Marcus Towler, a driver who, if it wasn't for a mistake of not recording his video, could well have been in PS Challengers. Definitely a very good quality grid here at League of Europe PC, as we now wait for the lights to come on. Final cars just getting into position, and we wait for the start lights to come on here at Imola. Who is it going to be? We have got 5 lights. And we're underway then for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Good start by Cartolondi. Straight away there you can see Kangokon trying to get into that slipstream, and he's going to try and challenge the Alpine driver down towards turn 1. But it is Cartolondi in the lead of this race. Bryn runs wide over the gravel trap from the Alfa Romeo there. Runs over the gravel trap. That's caused, I think, all sorts of chaos maybe further back. Ollie not having fun at Tamburello whatsoever. He's facing in the wrong direction, and we've got now Kango and Marcus Towler battling really hard, and that's going to allow Wetlow to send one down the inside into Tozer, but it's Cartolondi getting away while all this chaos is happening in the background. We've got another yellow flag, and I think that is just for the Red Bull driver who is recovering, but it's Cartolondi, Bryn, Kangokon, Wello, Marcus Towler, Mert, Kazu, J. Cole there in 8th position at the moment. You can see how close this train is, as we have got some battling a bit further back. I think that's Lucky Finger just getting back ahead of James, as Marcus Towler's got a run on Wello there coming out of Aqua Minerale. You do see a lot of mistakes at that part of the circuit, as there has been a spinner. And that is Lucky Finger in the Alpine. It's been a fascinating first lap. Barely know where to look at times. They are the position changes that we are seeing at the moment. Cartolondi staying as he is. Bryn up 1, biggest gainer by far. James gaining 5 positions. Ollie, he's lost 10. Looks as though he's already fighting to try and make it, only losing 9 positions all over the back of Miami there, as Mert gets ahead of Wello. So that's a move done for 5th place. End of lap 1. It's still Cartolondi in the lead of this race. Bryn in 2nd, Kangokon 3rd, as we see his teammate XL Bloodwinds work his way past Rafa. Bloodwinds trying to make best use of that set of these soft tyres. If we do get those tyre graphics back up again, seeing who is doing the best job on their tyre, well, who is on what set of tyres at this moment in time. James and Alec actually getting damage on the first lap of the race, so they are both into the pits. James putting on a set of mediums, Alec now going onto a set of hards, of course, trying to avoid that one stop. But we wanted to take those towards the end of the race. This train is sort of staying together, as Knox very close to the back of Rafa there. You can see almost losing it in the dirty air. Dirty air nowhere near as powerful for those who haven't played F1 2021. Nowhere near as powerful as it is in real life, and who knows what it'll be like next year, as I think we have had another spinner. And that is Aqua Minerale claiming another victim, and it is another Red Bull. They're having a bit of a disaster here. Ollie spun early on at Tamburello. That is Staker's spun. He's completely lost his front wing, and I think Miami has had a moment as well. So quite a dramatic race so far. The Stake's going to try and recover back to the pit lane. Hopefully he will be able to continue, but the leader's already heading onto lap 3 of this race. Carter in the lead, Bryn in 2nd, Kangokon in 3rd place, and there is a gap starting to appear round about where Wello is at the moment, and his teammate is right behind him. Are we going to see some team orders from the Grove team, I wonder, in the near future? Because Kasu really coming under pressure from J-Col as well, who just had to back out of it there. Top 5 getting away ever so slightly, and if Wello can't hang in the DRS, being such a long DRS zone, can easily gain you 3 or 4 tenths of a second a lap around here, which over 32 laps, don't need me to tell you, and you don't need to do the maths. There's quite a significant margin of time, so if I was Williams, and if they are communicating, because we're not sure they are, that would be something I would definitely look at this. Oh! Contact! Contact there. I think we've got one of the Williams spin. That is Kasu, who has spun, but I think it was Mert, the original Alfa Romeo, who spun from the helicopter cam. Kasu perhaps just in the wrong place the wrong time there. Clearly, the Alfa Romeo hadn't ghosted. We'll see if there is any damage on that Williams car at the moment. Whoa, he's definitely overheated his tyres though, backs it into the wall. Yuki Tsunoda style, that Variante Alta, thankfully for him, gets away with it. Here comes Bryn though, right on the back of Cartolondi. It should be straightforward with a DRS, down the inside, before we even get to the braking zone of Tamburello. And that is Bryn Evans into the lead of this race. RJW doing a similar move as well on J-Col. Again, that's where you're going to see the majority of the moves on that run down towards turn number 1. DRS so powerful and very important for RJW that he works his way up at the moment, gets back onto the back of Wello. I wonder whether Kasu would actually try to overtake Wello there, and there'd been an issue. Kasu comes into the pits. We are just seeing the first 3-second time penalties as, oh, that is a, yeah, that is, I believe, oh, is that James who's spun a long way back? I think. But a Mercedes have a bit of an issue there on the pitch straight. Not quite sure who that was, what that yellow flag was for, but there was a yellow flag on the pit straight. No one has retired from this race at the moment, which is what you always love to see. Always love to see no retirements. Oh, that is another spinner, and that is Petter That is Petter who's got it wrong coming out of... again, another car getting it wrong coming out of Aqua Minerale. Feel like I might as well get that on a soundboard. Drivers have spinning out of Aqua Minerale tonight. You're going to see a lot of it over tonight and over the next few days on the PST as well. Last time around, it was Brino had for DRS. This time, it's Cartalondi. This time, he picks the outside line. And it is going to be the same result. Cartalondi retakes the lead of this race. Oh, I think Brin's made a slight mistake there, and that might just allow Kango-Kon a chance. Round the outside he goes. Great move by Kango-Kon. And Marcus Towler's going to try this one as well. Down the inside he goes. Brin holding on for dear life at this moment in time. Who is going to come out ahead of all of these here? And it's still, you can see there, Brin hanging on to that car for dear life. Does not want to lose that position. Just one small mistake costing him there. So Brin stays in, well, drops down to third place. Cartalondi takes the lead. And it's now Kango-Kon in second. But importantly for these drivers, they've managed to stay within a DRS train, as that's Marcus Towler finding a new part of the track. Interestingly there, it was Brin who got himself a time penalty, and they are the time penalties. 3 seconds at this moment in time. I think that's going to become a much more useful graphic as we go on throughout the race, of course. Further back, there is a battle for 9th and 10th place. We'll cut to that a bit later on, because I feel like we are going to see another move for the lead of the race very shortly. This time it is going to be XL Kango-Kon on the back of Cartalondi, a bit further behind than the other drivers have been so far, so this might not be as easy as we've seen, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it. He's going to have to be a bit brave on the brakes here, is the McLaren driver, and in the end it's Brin out of nowhere taking the lead of this race. So Brin takes the lead of this race. Has Kango gone for a more downforce setup, I wonder? But how on earth did Brin make that one work? And that's James who's having a bit of an issue. So he drops down into 7th. I was about to say, oh! Perfect timing for us. Bad timing for Luca for us to go on board with him then. He loses it on those mediums out of Tamburello. Those on the alternate strategy. Really finding it quite difficult at this moment in time to stay on the car, as Marcus Towler now gets ahead of Cartalondi. So much movement happening at the front of this field. Pit stop strategy. Thinking round about lap 9, lap 10 perhaps, to go off a set of these soft tyres. Might try to stretch it a bit later, lap 11, lap 12. I think if you do it much later than that, you are going to be susceptible to the undercutters. Oh, Merckx, first retirement from the session. He's lost it big style. He's lost it in a big way then, coming through Aqua Minerale. There, on the right-hand side, XL Merckx is out of this race. No safety car, not even a VSC at this moment in time, which I am incredibly surprised upon. But I think we're going to see the lead swapping once more. ERS flashing on the back of Marcus Towler, so he's not going to find this as easy as perhaps some of the others has. And Kango-Kon trying to get himself right into this as well, but he stays in third place, and that is Marcus Towler back into the lead. I promise the lead overtakes will be a bit more exciting as we get towards the end of the race, once drivers know that tactic has got to start coming in. You do not want to be leading going on to the final lap, as well. He's all over the back of XL Jayco there, and Kango-Kon just gets ahead of Brin. With the leaders are so close at this moment in time. It sees whoever's leading. Ooh, Marcus Towler, big spin there, gets himself a warning. Whoever's leading almost just seems to be ending up in third place by the time they head out of Tamburello, whereas James has had a spin. He's now almost a lap down. I believe Alec is a lap down in his Haas, not having form whatsoever, and that is Wello, I think, chalk one up. If anyone wants to play a drinking game that's guaranteed to end you in A&E in half an hour's time, have a shot for every time someone spins coming out of Aqua Minerale. As, down the inside into Vivazzi. You don't see a move that often at that part of the circuit. Very brave from XL Kango-Kon. Down the inside he goes, and then now side by side drag racing towards turn number 1. They're going to be going almost 3 wide. Brin takes the lead of this race. Marcus Towler in second, trying to hold on to Kango-Kon. He's not going to be able to do so, so Brin takes the lead. Kango-Kon takes second. Marcus Towler in third. Cartalondi just hanging back in fourth. Can he get a better exit here? Just almost loses it on the curb. And here we go down in towards Villeneuve. Nothing happening on this occasion. So Brin now back into the lead of this race. We're a quarter of the way through, and I don't think we know where to look. And interestingly, those top 4 drivers that were getting away, it is all closed up again now. They've got J. Cole, RJW Videos, and XL Bloodwinds with them. This is going to be one to watch, I think, for the rest of the race, ladies and gentlemen. Strapping tight. We've only had a quarter. We've had so much action already. Bryn, Kango Con, Marcus Towler, your top 3. And oh, Marcus Towler, I think, Kango Con's made a mistake. Down into 4th place. Kazu gets a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Not sure what he's done there, but Kango Con, slight mistake coming up the hill. He's in 4th place. That's as easy as that to make a mistake at this circuit. We're seeing it again at Aqua Minerale so many times, so that's another penalty. Another yellow flags as well. Drivers, perhaps a bit out of practice at the moment, are really finding this difficult. Here comes Cartalondi though. He's got plenty of ERS and Marcus Towler has not at this moment in time. And this is a demonstration of just what having plenty of ERS can do to you, as he almost manages to overcome the difference there. Sorry, apologies about the slight bit of screen tearing we got there, but a mistake from Marcus Towler. That's Cartalondi up into 2nd place. Again, never know quite where to turn in this race at the moment, but Cartalondi now into 2nd, and Bryn, for the first time in a long time, the leader, hold on to the lead there on lap 9. Lovely helicopter shots as we head around for this first race of the season. Here's League of Europe Season 4 on the PC. You can, of course, watch the PlayStation action tomorrow, 6:30 and 8:10 for all 5 divisions across the PlayStation platform. Will Montana claim the title once more in the top tier, as I think Kango Con there perhaps taking advantage of a slight mistake from Marcus Towler, who's really struggling on that ERS, really struggling on penalties, and we know Kango doesn't mind sending it down the inside into Avanza. We saw him do it a couple of laps ago on the Ferrari. Great respect between the two of them, and there's not a lot they can do there. In fact, Marcus Towler, first driver to come into the pits, and it was such a late call, they forgot to put the pit lane speed limit on, so that is a 5-second penalty for him. Things going from bad to worse, down towards turn number 1. Cartalondi has to stay in place for now, and medium tyres at the end of lap 9, about when we expected to start to see drivers coming into the pit lane. As Cartalondi again, brave round the outside. We are seeing plenty of them moves at the moment. The drivers aren't afraid to try things round the outside, are they, at the moment? They're not afraid of going for a move, perhaps in a place where you would not expect it. Luke has got himself ahead of Petter. That is a battle for 10th and 11th place. We will look at these battles further down the field. There's just so much action happening at the front at this moment in time. Cartalondi now leads, Bryn in 2nd, Kango Con in 3rd, Marcus Towler probably out of this race, as that's a mistake from Cartalondi, and Shizu Bryn says thank you very much. I will retake the lead of this race. No safety cars yet. We've only had one full retirement, and that was XL Merckx, one of the many victims of Aqua Minerale in this race, and I think we're going to see a few more, especially if the drivers start pushing harder as we get towards the end of the race. The fuel burns off, they'll be on worn tyres at the end, as they are now. Not we're going to see anyone coming into the pits. No one interested by the undercut attempt this time around, and can Bryn hold it off? J. Cole and RJW are coming in. These front 3 have got away from Bloodwinds. Then Cartalondi's going to try it all the way around the outside. Easy as you like. And that is Cartalondi back into the lead of this race. This time not having to rely on a move around the outside of Villeneuve. A few more drivers coming into the pits. We'll see where J. Cole and RJW actually come out relative to Marcus Towler. He's just coming down the pit straight now. He's about to pass Luca. There goes for 2 cars on the right-hand side. And this is going to be one of the most straightforward DRS overtakes you ever see. Nice and easy down the inside. Luca tried to defend ever so slightly there, as I think that's Ollie who might have just had a slight issue as he drops down towards 6th place. Now J. Cole and RJW have got to work their way past this traffic. J. Cole there just having a bit of desync, because oh, that's Bryn. Bryn's around. One of the top 3 again having an issue. They are making some mistakes today. Hopefully we won't see this many throughout the season, and I'm sure we won't, but that's J. Cole, I think, just having a slight bit of desync there. He's in 12th place at the moment. That is now Bryn down into 4th all of a sudden with that penalty. I think we're going to see a few drivers coming into the pits this lap. Yellow flags again. That's RJW Williams fresh out the pits. Bloodwinds in, gets himself a time penalty. And now there are 2. Cartalondi and Kango Con, the 2 leaders hanging on at the moment on that set of the soft tyres, knowing that they will have better tyres at the end of the race. If we just get what the gap is, they're now 24 seconds ahead of Marcus Towler. That is comfortable for Marcus to take the lead of this race. Where J. Cole and RJW are going to be, that could be one to watch out for as well, because I think at this moment in time, You see, unfortunately, J. Cole is still toasting. I don't think J. Cole is going to be close enough with the strategy. Around about 28, 29 seconds is normally what you see around this circuit. So I'd say there's an opportunity for some of these other drivers. As there we go, J. Cole is back into the session. And that definitely won't help him whatsoever if he's ghosting around, not able to be in the session. But back towards the front, Carter and Kango Con. Do they both come in this lap? Or if you're the McLaren, do you do as Martin Brundle always says, do whatever he doesn't do. Do the opposite of what Carter Lundy does. As that is another time penalty for Bryn. They're really starting to rack up the penalties now. Are these drivers? 14 seconds for Marcus Towler, 10 seconds for Kazu. That was a straight 10-second penalty. And there we go. Straight into the pits comes Kango Con. He is in then off that set of the old soft tyres. You can see who's still yet to pit in this race on your screen now. And I think we'll be seeing Wallow coming in as well. So fresh set of mediums coming on. He's going to be, I predict, a long way behind Marcus Towler. Again, it's a very long pit lane here at Imola. Rafa should come flying past both of them. And where is Kango Con might be a bit closer to Marcus than he expected. I think we're going to see a Ferrari just breeze past though. There we go. So, well, after the pit stops, Marcus Towler is going to be into the lead of this race. There is absolutely no question. Marcus Towler will be leading this race. But he has quite a few penalties at this moment in time. Well, quite a few is an understatement. He has 14 seconds at this moment in time. He will have to come into the... He will not win this race after penalties. Let's leave it at that. And he's got older tyres than quite a few of the others. So this is going to be interesting to see how the other drivers play this after they've come into the pit. That is Bryn trying to recover after a few issues earlier on. Still on for a net 5th on track at this moment in time. He has got J. Cole and RJW not that far behind him. J. Cole, thankfully, back into the session. You've got to think, if he hadn't have disconnected, he was ahead of these drivers as Kasu gets another time penalty. If he hadn't have disconnected, he was ahead of these guys. I think he'd have had a chance of maybe, just maybe, being up round about where Bloodwinds is as Alec now gets a penalty. But Carter Lundy into the pits. And that means we are going to see Rafa take the lead of this race. And I think we're going to see a move soon as Bryn, all over the back of Petter, on those hard tyres, almost going into him. I think Petter there realising, yeah, discretion is the better part of valour. I might as well just let that move happen at this moment in time. There goes J. Cole, absolutely flying past him on this occasion. And I think RJW just a bit too far behind to really challenge him. But Petter's starting to struggle on those hard tyres. Was worth a gamble, and you never know, if there's a safety car at the end of this race, could still definitely gain him something. But unfortunately for him, as the order decides to shift itself ever so slightly there, not quite sure why that is. We are getting... the order's going all over the place at the moment. What I can tell you, Rafa is leading this race. Carter Lundy is not in the pits. He's very clearly out on track at this moment in time. Carter Lundy is definitely out on track. Marcus Towler is in second, so I'm thinking hopefully soon, once they all pass the finish line, it should start, you know, sorting itself out. Not that the F1 game is ever prone to having any issues where it will need to sort itself out. But Rafa is in the lead. Marcus Towler in second. Carter Lundy in third position at this moment in time. Out of the pits and out on track. Just about to... I think he's... Is he actually behind? Is he actually behind a McLaren at this moment in time? Is that for position? That must be for position at this moment in time. Yeah, Kango Con has jumped Carter Lundy then in the pit lane, as has XL Bloodwinds. So with all of what's going on here, hopefully the order will fix itself very shortly. We are seeing quite a few changes in the standings at the moment. And unfortunately, because of what is happening with them, I've got absolutely no idea. Oh, bit of desync, bit of contact between the two of them there. And I think Carter Lundy does get that position on Bloodwind. So it looks we're not too far away. And we have got a safety car. We do have a safety car. What is that for? I wonder. Haven't seen any retirements. So we might just have to go through the entire field here. And, well, I think there's your answer. Thankfully, we don't have to go through the entire field. And that is James, with quite a lot of damage on the front wing of that Mercedes. So he is going to be coming into the pits. We have got the first safety car. And if you're a certain driver in a Haas, this is, well, actually, it's probably not what you wanted. If you're Rafa, this could be good news for Could be good news for, I believe, Petter on that set of the hard tyres. But Rafa's coming into the pits. I cannot see you having nice sets of soft tyres in 17 laps time. So Rafa comes into the pits. You've got to make one compulsory pit stop, of course, like Real Formula 1. And you've got to change onto a different type of tyre. What is he going to go for? These are the soft tyres for Rafa. Quite aggressive indeed. Here's the order now. Thankfully, race control does seem to have sorted itself out all of a sudden. I do apologise for that, ladies and gentlemen. We have got our first safety car of the day. For an incident as James retires in the pits, and a drive-through penalty for Luca for speeding under the safety car. That is never what you want to see. He'll have to serve that later on. He's just put on, off his medium, a set of the hard tyres, which I think might have been the wiser thing to do. As you can see, Petter's just going to come out behind Luca, but in the end will obviously pass him as we get those penalties up again, because these are going to be crucial now. Penalties, they've only got half the race to build that gap. Marcus Towler has half a race to build a 14-second gap over Kango Con. Call me cynical. I can't see it happening. Kango Con and Cartolundi, probably the ones to watch out for in this race. Blood wins with a 5-second penalty. Will not get that removed as it was for speeding in the pit lane. Bryn with 6 seconds. Double warnings. You never know. He might be able to get one of them removed. But I think if you're at 6 seconds at this part in the race, as the man who lives in Norfolk, wearing a helmet inspired by a driver from Norfolk, the George Russell 63 helmet. And it will be interesting to see what he can do this year. As you might be wondering, if you've not played the F1 game much, why is he revving the living daylights, to put it politely, out of that engine? Of course, there is no rich mix on F1 2021. For those who've not played it for a while or haven't played it at all, that is the only way to burn fuel off. And if you've got extra under a safety car, this is the best thing to do. Yes, it heats up the engine, but you should be able to cool it down by the time. Oh! I said he's got a helmet inspired by George Russell. It looks like that was a spin inspired by George Russell. Shazoo Bryn spinning it under the safety car. All of a sudden, he's down into 8th place, and that is Miami. Not sure whatever Miami is, just trying to get out of the way, get into the back of the grid. 5-second severe penalty for, I think, Bryn and Ollie there. That's another not what you want to be seeing happen. It is all kicking off. That's just underneath the safety car. I think we've seen as nearly as many penalties underneath this safety car as we have before the safety car. But yeah, not quite sure what Miami was doing there, whether he was slowing down to just let the cars ahead so he's not interfering with the action. But maybe, just maybe, that did cause the incident. Lap 16 of this race, then safety car should be coming in. Well, I'm not sure. We have still got a car driving a long way behind, and that is Knox at the moment, who can... A sensible thing to do in this situation is drive fast, but not flat out. You don't want to take too much out of your tyres. So, you can go as fast as you want on the straights, but maybe just leave a bit in hand through the corners. Don't want to make a mistake, although as we've just seen, you don't need to be going at full speed to make a mistake. Lap 17 of this race, it just ticks over then. Marcus Towler in the lead. And we are waiting for the safety car to come in either at the end of this lap or it will be one more. So we're hearing here Miami got an illegal overtake on the car that reset to track, which I imagine must have been Bryn. It's, well, it's looking not so bad. Not so long ago, at the start of this race, he was up there. They were all making mistakes. Marcus, Kango, Carter and Bryn. Fortunately for the man who once did an internship at Alpine, and if you ever chatted to him on Twitter, you'll know that, because that is all he talks about. I'm only saying that, oh, safety car in this lap. That is a late decision. Safety car in this lap. That is a late call by race control. Jaco gets a 5-second penalty with stake. I think we're going to see all sorts removed at the end. That is very late from race control. We are off then. This race is underway. Marcus Towler's had no chance whatsoever to build a gap here. And I think we're going to see Kango Con take the lead in this race down to the inside line. Goes to McLaren driver. Can he do it on the brakes? No, very brave from Marcus Towler. Round the outside, holding it off there. Rafa and Bryn getting pretty close together. I think that just compromised Rafa ever so slightly. So here comes J. Cole down the inside into Villeneuve again. Not quite able to make that move. A very late call there by the safety car to come into the pits. Clearly not waiting for everyone else as Ollie does retire from the session then. I believe that was in the pit lane. So, or it might have been just as he was exiting the pit lane. So that is Ollie out of the race. We are down to 17 runners. Quite a spread out field with some drivers being a lap down. If we do change the gap there, you can see everyone from Knox behind is a lap down at this moment in time, as I think there were some near overtakes happening further back. Might have been a car getting lapped though, as we haven't seen any position changes, but it is still at the end of the first lap after the safety car. Marcus Towler in the lead, Kango in second place, as Rafa now picks up a time penalty. We have a look what tyres everyone is on in this field. He's got fresher tyres than Marcus Towler. He's not got as fresher tyres as Carter Lundy right behind him, so that is we're gonna see the price of that, I think, paid at the end of this race. Using a bit of ERS maybe just to try and keep Carter behind him, because we know he's had some rapid pace at this moment in time. This DRS train is going to be interesting. Rafa already off the back of the DRS train, as is J. Cole. Both of them on that set of the soft tyres. Perhaps just trying to be nice and careful with them at the moment. They have got to do an exceptionally long stint on them. Oh, and that is Casu lap down, just getting well out of the way there, as I think Bryn all over the back of RJW videos, all alongside RJW videos at this moment in time. Who's going to head up? Who's going to head up the lead as they come up the hill towards Piratella? Oh, contact between the two of them there. Contact between Bryn and RJW. The Ferrari driver ends up going off. Rafa gets ahead of him as well. I think there could be a few words had between those two at the end of the race. I feel like Bryn might as well set up a camp bed in the steward's office. He could be having quite a few appearances there this time around as Wello. J. Cole's made a mistake, and that is Wello who gets ahead into 9th position at this moment in time. DRS will be activated this time around, so they'll be able to use it next time around. So you can see they're just on the ERS at this moment. They're already using quite a lot, as Bryn picks up another time penalty, unfortunately for him. Luca comes into the pits, must have got damage as well. That'll be to serve his drive-through penalty, of course. So Luca serving his drive-through, will drop behind Knox. With all the cars that are a lap down, won't drop too far behind the field. Carter Lundy all over the back of Kango Con. But I think we're going to see now, it is going to be very difficult. Drivers have had a chance to save ERS. He has got better tyres, as he almost thinks about a move on Kango Con there, and I think that's why J. Cole was dropping down the field, as tried it down the inside last time did Bryn. RJW gets a much better exit than Bryn up the hill at Tozer, side by side, and I think this time the Aston Villa fan says, thank you very much, I will have that position, there will not be any contact. That is RJW up into 6th place, and that is Stake out of the race. He's lost it coming, believe, on the exit of Tozer, and that is a second safety car. We have another safety car then in this race. That is for the retirement of Stake. Both Red Bulls out of this race after, I believe, what was a very respectable qualifying performance from the Red Bulls, if I'm being honest with you. Well, Stake was in 17th. Ollie, especially in 8th place, did have a good qualifying. He is out of the race. We have another safety car. Now, what would you do? Would you come into the pits like we are seeing a lot of these drivers do? Rafa, he might as well stay out. This gives him a better chance. Perversely, this does give him a better chance. Everyone else coming to the pits off a set of soft tyres, onto a set of soft tyres. He could just cruise round at the moment. Yes, he's on all the soft tyres. He's not going to be putting anywhere near the wear in them that he was doing. As you can see, the safety car has caught up with the leader then. Kango Con comes out in 5th place. Marcus Towler losing out. Has got rid of that 5-second penalty. That is good news for him with 12 laps to go. A lot of these drivers will be able to get rid of their penalties. So he's lost a couple of places, has the old race leader. He's now into 7th. He's now only got the 9 seconds. So still going to find it very hard, I think, for the Norwegian driver to get a podium. But we'll have to wait and see what kind of pace he can put on. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to take the victory in this race at the moment. 12 laps to go. Can those that have decided to, you know, stay out there on the circuit, will it be one of those who ends up taking the victory? One of those drivers who hasn't pitted under the safety car. Rafa, Petter and J. Cole, all with penalties though. Lucky Finger, the lead car without penalties, on a set of hard tyres. I think even he'd admit he has not got a hoop in hell of keeping those cars behind him. El Plan is not going to save him once the safety car comes in. Hopefully we won't have the timing glitches again. I believe J. Cole has rejoined the session, so fingers crossed we don't have any of them as we do wait for the pack to close up. If I was you, I'd grab yourself a drink round about now, because this could get pretty spicy for the final 12 laps. Who's going to take the first win of the season? And there are quite a few drivers saying on the Discord that they have struggled with this track. It is such a difficult track to drive around. So tricky to cope with. As Luckyfinger into the pits, perhaps wanting to avoid the double stack, but I think with how close the field is together, you'd have been better off just double stacking, my friend. He is going to drop all the way down. Perhaps he's probably going to drop behind Luca as well, actually. So he's going to drop all the way down into 13th place. Still on the lead lap, though. So without any penalties, I would not wipe him out for getting any points. So that's now Carter Lundy. He's the lead Alpine. He's in 5th. Just ahead of him, Kango Con. Lead car, A, on a fresh set of tyres. B, without any penalties at this moment in time. Other drivers not in a bad situation now. We've already said Carter. RJW sort of had a bit of an issue earlier on. He's definitely been in the wars a bit today. He's had a few contacts, but thankfully hasn't got any damage. Well, thankfully for his sake, hasn't got any damage. And he's not getting any penalties either. So, could get a podium. He's got a few cars to get past if he wants to maybe... Well, he's got a lot of cars to get past if he wants to get the win of this race. He's in 8th place at the moment. But him and Blood wins. Could see some fighting between them. It is looking very good in terms of Constructors' Championship for McLaren at this moment in time. They're 4th and 9th. Out of those on fresh tyres, that is 1st and 6th. Out of those with no penalties, that is 1st and 4th. And they're only going to have 10 laps, we hope, of green flag action to go. Thankfully, this time around, we've decided that the safety car is going to come in quite a bit earlier than it did last time. So now it is up to Rafa to lead the pack away. He's got his teammate very handily for Rafa there. He has got his teammate in between him and Alec at this moment in time. So that is very useful indeed for Rafa. He can try to break away then, and that kind of just takes the sting out of this restart. Maybe we could have done with him just letting one lapped car past everyone else. I'm sure no one would have complained. We are off and racing then. Kango Khan. He's got a brilliant run on J-Col here, right underneath the rear wing of his fellow XL driver, but there's going to be no teamwork between them right now. Can he do it down the inside? No, he cannot. J-Col's gone deep though, and this might provide an opportunity. Over the curb goes J-Col. Off the track goes Kango Khan. Past goes Carter Lundy. Past goes Marcus Towler. Fair play to J-Col. He's slowed down and let Kango Khan back past, but all of a sudden what looked like a very possible victory for Kango Khan. He's got to fight past Marcus Towler and then try and get ahead of Carter Lundy as well, who's all over the back of Petter. Here, Rafa is just getting away at this moment in time, and we've said this is not an easy track to overtake on. There is a big chance that we could see Rafa build a bit of a gap here. Slight mistake from Petter, and I think that might be the opportunity. Round the outside, he's going to have to try into very anti-alter. You'll be a brave one to make it work there. There was always going to be a bit of contact, and that's an opportunity for Marcus Towler maybe to make a move, and Kango Khan's got back involved in all of this. So that mistake earlier on, that incident with J-Col didn't cost him too much. He's got a perfect view. Down the inside goes to Ferrari on the Alpine. 9 laps to go at the end of this one. Well, these are all battling. Rafa's building a gap. We've only had 1 lap. He's 3.3 seconds ahead already. That's Petter really dropping down the field now all of a sudden. This is what happens when you get offline. Just look at the congregation of cars we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, all trying to battle for position. Who's gonna come out ahead? Who's gonna end up having to go over the gravel? Because surely someone's gonna get into an issue, and somehow they all come through nice and clean there. And oh, Luca's out of the race. Incident and a virtual safety car then. Luca out of this race, losing it just on the exit there of Tamburello. That is a virtual safety car, and that is an opportunity for things to just calm down. And yes, Bunty, we did see Ollie DNF. We've had quite a few DNFs, unfortunately, in this race at this moment in time. It didn't start too bad. XL Merckx having that one earlier on, but since we saw James cause that first safety car on roundabout lap number 14, we have had, he's retired, Ollie, Kasu, Stake, and now Luca out of this race. We are down to just 14 cars remaining then in this race. Alec and XL Miami are a lap down, so going to be difficult for them to get points, but you've got to think anyone else is just in an absolutely superb position now to get themselves some points, and this closes the field up once again. What is that saying? Safety cars breed safety cars. I don't think we've seen a race more apt for that than this one at this moment in time. It has been absolute carnage. Peter clearly deciding he's had enough. Oh, with a drive-through penalty for Knox for speeding in the pits as Bryn and Wello going side by side here. I'm not... Oh, we're back racing again. That is why. I do apologise, people. We are back racing again. So Bryn and Wello having a fight side by side there at the end of the VSC period. Everyone else seemed very one in a line there. That's why I perhaps missed that. But Bryn gets himself back up into 6th place. Could still salvage some good points. Did get a podium in LME last season, so can still get himself a good performance indeed. And that is Pesser out of the pits. That VSC just ended at the wrong time. Could easily snatch himself the fastest lap of the race, though. But he might be the one to watch. Carter in 3rd place at the moment. Him, Marcus Towler ahead, and Kango Con behind have all got a fresh set of tyres on, but here's the lead car without any penalties. That is Bryn trying to make it side by side with J. Cole. We've already seen that nearly end bad once already, and it looks like they're going to go for it again here. J. Cole on the inside, Bryn on the outside. Who's going to brake latest? And Bryn perhaps with the slightly better tyres there, just taking advantage of that. He takes 5th position. And Marcus Towler's really dropped back from Carter Lundy. DRS, it wasn't a DRS zone on the back of Alec, and that is really helping him at the moment. So Alec's car, Marcus Towler, probably is not too bothered that he's in that position here, as Knock comes into the pits after his VSC drive-through penalty, of course. So Carter Lundy in 3rd place, standing to win this race as things stand because of the penalties, and it will be Kango Con who would finish in 4th place. Bryn and J. Cole battling once again. J. Cole able to take advantage of the DRS just to get that move done last time around. Here's the view from the back of the Aston Martin. It's not been the race that Miami Cole would have wanted, I don't think, and I think we're going to see maybe a move down the inside there. That would have been a brave one by Bryn, but putting your nose in was just enough perhaps to spook the Aston Martin round the outside into Aqua Minerale. And that is Bryn up into 5th position. RJW Videos, he's picked up his first penalty. Alec picks up another one. We are seeing fantastic racing throughout the field. The safety cars, the VSC really closing the back up. And with only 6 laps to go at the end of this one, whoever wins this race out on track is definitely up in the air. Whoever wins this race after the in-game penalties have applied, equally as up in the air. But it is Rafa leading. Marcus Towler, fastest lap of the race, DRS assisted. Is he going to get the lead of this race out on track as well? Rafa just ahead of him has got absolutely no chance of defending. Down the inside goes Marcus Towler. He takes the lead of this race, and is Carter Lundy able to follow through as well? No, he has to stay there. So we saw a front 4 at the start of this race of Marcus, Carter, Kango Con and Bryn. There's a front 4 again. This time it's Rafa in the middle of that. On those older tyres, how much can he hold on? He has got 13 seconds of penalties here. So Wello and RJW still not in a bad position when it comes with only their 3 seconds of penalties. Carter and Kango are clear. Marcus Towler, Bryn on 9 seconds, J. Cole on 8, and then you can see the penalties for those outside of the points, which is going to cost them any chance of getting into the points at this moment in the time. Rafa, only driver in the field to have made 1 stop as well. That alternate strategy just turning out to work quite well for him, as we have got another penalty for Bryn, and I thought for a second we were going to get another overtake into the Ravazza. I don't think Rafa is going to be close enough here to have a go at Marcus Towler. I think if anything, he's going to have it to be defend, and I think actually he's going to have no chance of defending whatsoever. Very straightforward for Carter Lundy. Way before we even get to Tamburello, he's up into 2nd place, and I think Kango Con's going to think about throwing one up the inside as well. Side by side they go, and again the McLaren has to take to the escape road. Again he loses out, and now I think he'll be the one who's glad Alex there, because he's still got DRS on the back of him, and that slowed Rafa down as well. So all of a sudden, and then there were 2, and that is Aston Martin, that is J. Cole drifting towards the wall at Villeneuve, taps it quite heavily, doesn't have any visible damage. We'll see whether it is worth him carrying on in this race. He is carrying on with that front wing. He's in 9th place at this moment in time. Wouldn't be surprising if he does come into the pits, gets a fresh front wing, gets the fresh tyres, he might still manage to get his way into the points if he has got that damage. But all these... Oh, Bryn's out of the race. Bryn out of the race, and where's he lost the car? That is coming into Variante Bassa, and Knox is also out of the race. He's lost it coming out of Tamburello. It's fatigue starting to set in for these drivers. That is a That's the second time Bryn's lost it on that straight. I don't think I've seen, apart from this year when Mazepin and Latifi crashed on there, I don't see many drivers lose it on that straight. So Bryn, all that pace, all for naught. He is out of the race as Carter takes the lead there. And now we think he'll stay there after penalties now that he's got that gap to Kango. Can he keep there out on track as well? We'll have to find out. Only 4 laps remaining. Carter, Marcus Dowley, Rafa, Kango, RJW, Wello, Bloodwinds, Lucky Finger, J. Cole is coming into the pits. And Petter, they are your top 10. And barring any accidents, they will be your point scorers. Yeah, just 3 and a bit. 3 and a bit laps to go here then at Imola. All looking nice and steady at the moment. Marcus Towler in the lead of, well, Marcus Towler in second place, I should say. His name clearly popping into my mind as he gets himself another penalty. That is 12 seconds for the Ferrari driver. Carter, just you've got to say at the moment, he's looking pretty clear. He has kept it clean. So many of the rivals around him haven't. You've got to feel sorry for Kango slightly. He's been involved in a few incidents, maybe a bit braver than he needed to be, as it doesn't look like Marcus is going to be close enough here to even attempt to move down the inside into Tamburello. No, he just has to stay back. Someone who is close enough, though, is Kango. He takes third out on track. He is still on for second place at this moment in time. And I think, actually, with the positions at the moment, it would be RJW versus Wello. Whoever wins that battle is going to find themselves on a podium all of a sudden. This has been a very dramatic race, it's fair to say, and we've said it often. I've said it on many, many other streams if you see my commentaries. Keeping it clean. Once there's penalties, once there's safety cars, that is oh so important. And that, even if he gets passed out on track, that is what is going to win Carter this race. He's had the pace, he's had the consistency, and he's had the wherewithal to keep it within the white lines as well. Although it looks like Marcus is just trying to threaten him ever so slightly on this occasion, getting very close on the run down towards Variante Alta. Not a traditional overtaking point, but hey, we sort of give it away with traditionality at this moment in time. We are seeing all sorts around this track. There we go, Marcus Towler is going to come for the lead of the race, and this should be straightforward, down the inside, into the lead. And I think he knows. He knows he's just got to work with Carter, use his DRS, and try to finish as high up the field as possible. Carter knows he doesn't need to take any silly risks. He can just stay behind at this moment in time. Someone who might need to take a silly risk, though, is Wello. Reminder, these two on the same amount of penalties. In fact, Wello's picked up an extra one, so that is bad news for him. So it's looking good for RJW to get the podium in this race. We're going to have action out on track. And I think, unfortunately, after penalties, that is just going to nullify the action ever so slightly. 1 lap to go at the end of this one. Marcus Towler leading out there on the circuit at this moment in time. Carter looks like he's going to win it after penalties as J. Cole. Looks like he's going for that fastest lap point way down in 10th place at the moment. Disconnections, other bits of bad luck. That spin, not been the race J. Cole would have wanted. But it's fair to say he's kept going, and that is all you can ask for in a situation like this. So fair play to him. He's done all you could have expected. About to come on to the final lap of this race of the first round of the League of Europe PC season. And here comes Carter down the inside long before we get to the braking zone for Tamburello. And I dare to say that is the last position change for the lead we are going to see. Carter takes the lead. Marcus Towler hanging on to second. Wello down the inside of RJW videos. Wello knows he's got to try and push like crazy to try and beat Bloodwinds at the moment. He stands to lose out to him for what I think might even be 4th and 5th position at the end of this race. So many penalties. The order you see on screen is definitely going to be a different order. And amazingly, 2 of the drivers that have kept it clean are the Alpines. Lucky Finger, another one to keep things clean at this moment in time as well. Marcus Towler still pushing Carter for all it's worth. He wants to try to take this victory out on track. Carter just weaving ever so slightly, cleaning the tyres, just almost daring Marcus Towler to go for the move. A big slide from the Alpine, and I think this is Marcus saying, do you know what, I might try and go for this. all the way round the outside. They need to be careful not to crash. We're going into the final 2 corners. Cartalundi's in the lead. Oh, we're going to see Marcus Towler send it into Ravazza. We are not, and it is Cartalundi who crosses the line to take the victory here at Imola. Kangokon finishes in 2nd position. It will be a 3rd place for RJW Videos. Bloodwinds in 4th. A good day at the office for the McLaren team. Wallow in 5th. Marcus Towler, many penalties, dropping him to 6th in the end. Rafa is in 7th place. Lucky Finger in 8th place if he crosses the line again. Good job on him keeping it penalty free. He will claim 8th place. Petter and J. Cole going to be the final 2 runners, I think. Well, final 2 runners in terms of points to cross the line and in terms of the track as well, as Alec and Miami have finished a lap down in 11th and 12th place. Petter's crossed the line in 9th. J. Cole is the final finisher, but your winner here, round 1 of the season, it's the Canadian, it is the reserve, it is Cartalundi. As we wait for the in-game driver of the day, that is given to Petter. Great job from him. Getting that strategy right, yes. Maybe a bit fortunate with the safety cars, but went for the hard tyres. Gamble paid off. He finishes in 9th place as Carter, waiting for the adoring fans to hear him celebrate his podium. Good result as well for Kangokon, keeping it clean. Bit unlucky with overtakes on J. Cole and I believe it was Bryn, the other one. Just costing him, perhaps, who knows, without that, he may have had a chance himself of taking the victory here today. As we look at the results then, provisional, I think it is very fair to say, from round 1 of the season, it is Cartalundi who takes the victory. XL Kangokon in 2nd place, RJW Videos, again, you keep it fairly clean, you get yourself a podium, 10th to 3rd, Bloodwind in 4th, Wallow 5th, Marcus Towler in 6th, Rafa is 7th, Lucky Finger in 8th, Petter in 9th, J. Cole setting the fastest laps in 10th. Alec and Miami were a lap down in 11th and 12th. And your retirements, Bryn, Knox, Luca, Stake, Casu, Ollie, James and Excel Merck. So many retirements from what was it's definitely easy to say, a very dramatic... Oh, top 12. Top 12 get points? Where on earth have I missed that completely? I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen, because I had a look at the old standings earlier, so I believe I have missed that completely in the point scoring standings as I tried to take a quick look at the point system here, and I do apologise, I am wrong. Top 12 do get points, so everyone who finished got themselves a point. So Alec and Miami there just scoring themselves some points. I do apologise. Well, that can make all the difference at the end of the season. We are going to try and see here if we can actually get some of the drivers in for an interview. I'm going to try and get some of these drivers in for any interviews at this moment in time. So let us know if there's any questions you would want to ask the drivers, as we are going to try and invite some of them for some interviews at this moment in time. Yeah, great race there. Cartalundi, as we said, taking the victory. 2nd place for Kangokon. What could have been for him? 2 drivers had the pace, kept it clean when so many other drivers didn't. And RJW Videos, good performance from him, getting a podium as well. We will just wait for the podium interviews. Let us know what you thought of the race. Let us know who you thought your driver of the day was as well. As we said, so much action going off there out on the circuit. Who do you think was the driver of the day? I agree, Jess. Definitely an awesome race. If you do know anyone who needs a commentary wall, hint, on Fridays, there is a wall alongside me, because we did have, as you said, an absolutely awesome race there. And I believe we are actually going to get a few drivers coming in. So, as we said, fire away. Let us know what you want to say to the drivers. We have got one of them popping in now. So, let's get the interviews going with our race winner, Cartalundi. Absolutely fantastic, brilliant win for yourself. When you look at the standings, pole to win makes it sound easy. Definitely wasn't, though, was it, Carter? Plenty of battles out on track today.
No, it was not easy. I did no practice beforehand except like 3 laps. And I mostly just came here for fun, but it turned out to be a good race.
Yeah, definitely did turn out to be a good race. He seemed to have the pace, the consistency, and, unlike a lot of other drivers, managed to keep it clean as well. Do you think that's going to hold you in good stead if you manage to take part in many more races this season?
Well, I'm only a reserve, so and sixth reserve at that, so I'm not sure how many races I'm going to get. But I mean, yeah, if I drive fast, I think I have a good chance at something.
Yeah, certainly. And what just talking just outside of the league, what's your sort of goals for league racing for the rest of F1 2021? Because you've proved tonight you've definitely got some good pace in you.
Well, I'm focusing on PSGL right now. I'm the F3 title. Yesterday I got second in Portugal. So my goal probably before the end of the game is yeah, just to win the F3 title, and I think I have a really good shot at it.
Yeah, who knows if you get bumped up the reserve list, you might have a chance of winning this title as well. So congratulations, Carter. I'll let you head off and enjoy your. Is it evening yet in Canada, or are we still in afternoon?
It's afternoon.
Still in afternoon. I'll let you enjoy your afternoon, Carter.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
And we haven't got Kango Con yet. We'll see if he does join the lobby, but we'll speak with the man who finished in third place. Did manage only picked up 1 3-second time penalty, but in the end that was enough to bump him up the order. Showed some good pace as well. It was RJW, and RJ, a bit like Carter, looks like a nice simple race when you look at the standings, but you also were involved in plenty of battling.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that went on around me. Every single time I looked, I got on the back of the train, and then something would happen in front of me. I'd lose a couple of seconds and just have to try and gain it back. And in the end, really, it's just the penalties that's got me here. The pace was good through the race, but I wasn't in the right position. My quality kind of messed that up for me, and I benefited in the end from just from other people making mistakes.
Yeah, we did see plenty of people make mistakes. Just tell us how difficult it is around Imola as a circuit, because I've commentated many races around here now on this game. So many times you do see drivers making mistakes, especially coming out of Acqua Minerale. Do you think this is one of the toughest tracks on the game to keep it clean, especially over a race distance?
Definitely. I had one myself. I spun out of Acqua Minerale just after my first pit stop, and the safety cars kind of saved me on that front. But it's so difficult. I was trying to get to the end on 2 warnings, and then just like that, not even thinking about it, I've cut 2 corners and got I'm on 4 warnings, then penalty. So it's so difficult to keep your concentration around here as well. So many high speed corners, so many difficult traction zones. It's definitely one of the toughest, up there with Portimao in my opinion.
Yeah, certainly. We have got Portimao coming this season, but I believe it is France for next race. Do you think you'll have chances around there to maybe get on the podium again? Because a bit like Imola, we're going to see plenty of penalties.
Well, I always back myself, but I mean this is the first podium I've had on the PC side, so it's I hope I can. And the pace today was encouraging, but we'll see next week.
Yeah, we will see you next week. Congratulations, RJ. I'll let you head off now.
Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, it is the man who finished in second place for the McLaren team, XL Kango Con. Kango Con, a good race from yourself, just a couple of incidents coming through Tamburello, perhaps costing you. Otherwise, I think we might have seen you and Carter battling for the lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad result, but yeah, it's just painful, to be fair. Like, I had the pace to win. Maybe I'm not sure I would have get past the Alpine, but I've just been taken out twice. Maybe not completely, but yeah, it was just painful.
Yeah, definitely was.
It's the end.
Yeah, definitely was a tough race. Tell us about. Do you think that we've said there's something similar to Carter? Obviously, being able to be quick and picking up no penalties as well. Is that something that you've worked on, especially around this track, knowing that perhaps a lot of other drivers would be picking up the penalties?
I knew people will take penalties. I didn't expect it that much. But I mean, I took 2 warnings in the space of like the 3 first laps, something like that. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take 6 or 9 seconds at this pace, and I just stayed really far from track limits, except in the chicane. A few times I had a lot of understeer and I went a bit too wide, but I just take care. And I mean, I was scared of a late safety car that was going to ruin everything. So, wow.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I'm not taking a lot of penalties usually. So,
yeah, I think that'll be good for you next week as well. As you said, there was plenty of safety cars. Last season, you were up there towards the top of the championship. This season, obviously, QVR Cookie, Primoz Miklicic is not here. Do you think you've got a chance of taking the victory of the championship when we come to Abu Dhabi in May?
it's too early to say. To be honest, I mean, Imola is one of my strongest track, maybe my strongest. So I'm not sure I will keep up with with the leading group in the next races. So I mean, I will have a better idea like after Saudi Arabia or something like that, but not before. If I'm in the top 3, it's okay.
Yeah, still obviously very early days. Well, congratulations, Kango Khan. I'll let you head off and enjoy your podium.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks to all the drivers for joining us. Thanks to all you for watching as well. And that is pretty much it then for this stream. Make sure to check out the rest of the action tomorrow, though, at 6:30 and 8:10 for all the tiers of A League of Racing Europe PlayStation. 5 tiers of action through there. It will be sure to be a good one. And just in time as well, there is the times, there is the website link, and there is the Twitter link as well at A League of Europe if you're interested. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, 8 p.m. on the PC platform for round number 2 of the season at Paul Ricard. Carter took the victory today, the last minute reserve for the Alpine driver. Who knows what he could do if he was a full-time driver? Maybe he'll get a chance later on in the season. Still very early days to go, and judging by tonight, it is going to be an absolutely fantastic season. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and I will see you in a week's time. Goodbye.